City Council meeting for Tuesday, March 15th. I'd like to call this meeting to order. If we could all rise for Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Doing roll call, all council members are present. Any public comment at this time? No public comment at this time. Do we have any agenda modifications, Ms. Wood?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, we do. Good evening, Mayor and Council. We do have an addendum to add to this agenda with the following changes and revisions. We are revising business item K4, the resolution. We are moving consent item L4 to business item K5, which is resolution authorizing DNR outdoor recreation grant submission. Then we are adding 3 new consent items. One of them is resolution to accept the resignation of the liquor store clerk. L11 is to accept resignation of the Parks Recreation Events Coordinator. And L12, authorizing a one-time fence repair in the amount of 50% of the cost not to exceed $550 at the reference PID.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve the agenda with those changes by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Proclamation, commendations, and certified awards. This is the Week of the Young Child, April 2nd through April 8th. You get to read this long proclamation now. The Week of the Young Child, whereas many local organizations in conjunction with the National Association for the Education of Young Children are celebrating the Week of the Young Child, April 2nd through April 8th. And whereas the organizations, there we go, are working to improve early learning opportunities, including early literacy programs that can provide a foundation of learning for children in Isani, Minnesota. And whereas teachers and others who make a difference in the lives of young children in Isani, Minnesota deserve thanks and recognition. And whereas the public policies that support early learning for all young children are critical to the young children's futures. I, Jeff Johnson, Mayor for the City of Isani, do hereby proclaim April 2nd through April 8th, 2022 as the Week of the Young Child, and encourage all citizens to work to make a good investment in early childhood in Isani, Minnesota. Do I have a approval for the City Council minutes of March 1st, which was a regular City Council meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. You got an extra pen down there, Jimmy?
Here.
Steve gives me his pen and I sit here and click it, then he snatches it back from me. Announcements. City Council meeting will be Tuesday, April 5th at 7 p.m. A Economic Development Authority meeting will also be Tuesday, April 5th, immediately following that City Council meeting. And there's a Park Recreation and Culture Board meeting Tuesday, March 22nd at 6 p.m. Any council committee reports? Guess we don't need the fire update when the chief's right here, huh?
Yep. I'm stuck seeing him tomorrow, too.
What? You are?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you said I was. I was like, what? That's the first I'm hearing of it.
No,
All right, let's move on to business items. K1 is the Isani Area Joint Fire District Annual Report. Presentation by Fire Chief Al Jankovic.
Evening, gentlemen. That's on, right? That is green.
You are green.
Green is go.
Am I gonna page through this? I'm in charge of the screen too.
Yeah, you do it all. You're important.
All right, gentlemen. So, briefly, we have our annual report. It's the same format that I've prepared this in as the last couple of years, so it should look familiar. We'll go through these pages briefly. There's a few back there on the desk if anybody in the audience would like one to follow along as well, or take home tonight after the meeting is over. The first page is just basically a roster of everybody we had on board as of December 31st. We do have a few new hires since December 31st, but this report is all based off last year's year end, so those new folks aren't listed. Average years of service is 7, which is creeping up on us a little bit. Total years of service between all firefighters as of 12/31 is 190. The next page is a pie graph and a line graph, just shows some run volumes. You see the big yellow piece of pie is the city of Isania's total runs last year that the fire department responded to, being 538 runs, 10-year fire call volume history. We talk about this quite a bit at the fire district meetings, how every year it seems to be creeping up on us. Last year in total we had 1,134 runs. Compared to 1,034 last year, we had an increase of 100 runs in just 1 year. So it's increasing quite a bit. The next pages, 3 and 4, are incident types. So you heard in the last report, we went on 1,134 runs. If you have questions about what types of runs, we're going on 1,134 times. Here's all that data. This is how it gets entered into the state register, so I just run a report off of that to share it with everybody. Next page is our 2021 training. So these are all of the training topics that the firefighters trained on last year. The picture is an interesting one, and so I thought I'd share it. It was in a house out in a rural area where the homeowner noticed this was on fire in a bedroom. It's just a 6-way power strip. So I like to share that with people during fire prevention to show them that this is a possibility. That it wasn't underwater, it wasn't in the garage being used recklessly, it was just in a bedroom supplying power to a TV, not hair dryers or big heavy loads. So this can happen, and it's something that people should be conscious of. In their homes. Service area on page 6, you see there it is updated as per the county assessor's office with 2021 estimated populations and valuations for each of the areas that we service. So the 6 townships in the city, a total of 157 square miles. In those 157 square miles, we cover 6,388 households. The map on the bottom, the yellow line shows our coverage area. So inside that yellow shape is the sections of land that the fire district covers. Next page, number 7, is a brief report on our financials showing our budget. We had a pretty good year with grants, $60,394.35 we accumulated in grants last year. Had a few donations, and then you'll see our checkbook balances. We have a few savings account, and then we have a water rescue savings account that we earmarked donated funds towards. The pictures are pretty self-explanatory. Fire prevention is a big piece of our month of October, where we have a lot of school-aged kids come into the fire station for tours, so we take that opportunity to talk to them about fire safety and show them a firefighter in a turnout gear, which is what we're doing in that picture, just to kind of help ease their mind about seeing a firefighter and make sure that they're not scared of us if they ever do encounter us. The other pictures are a good fire prevention message. This was in the city of Isani, where I got a call during the day of a homeowner that thought something smelled hot. Went in their bedroom and quickly found that one of those plug-in air fresheners was melting the receptacle. So another near miss. Good message to share. Capital assets are on page 8. Which is just a list of all of the equipment we own, except for the building at Station 1. We own all of the equipment on that page, free and clear, no payments, which we're proud of. The next page on page, which will be page 9, is taking those call types and narrowing it down to the city of Isani only. So I ran a report like the first report, but this is only in the city of Isani, so if you're wondering, what are you doing at 538 times in our city? There's what we're doing. 392 of them, for example, are medicals, which if you calculate it out, you'll see in the column there, 72.9% of the fire call runs in the city of Isani are EMS related. Then on the back page, page 11, is, again, for the city of Isani only. It's budgetary numbers, but they're for this year. So the whole report is based off 2021, except for those numbers on the back page, which is 2022. You'll see that in 2022, the fire department's overall budget is $700,208. The city's contribution of that budget is $273,081.12. So you'll see there the city pays 39% of our overall budget, and if you look at the runs that we run on 47% of our runs in the city. So you pay 39% of our budget, and you account for 47% of our runs.
I see you're going with that, chief. Doesn't matter. It's only 8% difference there.
Perfect. All right, any questions?
Good job.
Those plug-in
Good
strips
job.
have a lifespan, chief?
Does what?
Those plug-in strips have a lifespan? Now you got me all worried. I'm gonna go home.
There's
and
good
look at
ones and bad ones.
That's why we do that. There's good ones, there's bad ones. A lot of people.
Is there
tend to
date on
think-
those things, or how do you know if they're bad?
Not that I've ever heard.
One thing you gotta realize too, like that plug-in that you were talking about that was in that home in Isani, most homes now are built with arc faults. That would never happen anymore.
Yeah, there
That's
are.
probably an older home that did not have arc faults.
Correct, it did not. But it's something to think about. If you have a lot of heavy loads, and you plug them into that, just because there's 6 plugins doesn't mean they're all able to take a 15 or 20 amp load. You will heat that up.
What are you kidding?
I'm paranoid. I unplug my coffee maker when I'm done making coffee. I unplug the toaster.
That's what
I
my
don't know.
wife
I
does.
just,
She's the worrywart.
We've had
things can fail.
laptops sitting on couches that start the whole house on fire.
Yeah.
We narrow it down to a laptop. Not a big load. but
Gets
one
hot.
little thing goes wrong in that little transformer, and next thing you know, you have a house fire, so. Good
Holy
things to
Hannah.
keep in mind.
So the community has come to me asking me a very big question lately.
Yeah.
What is happening with Station 1? Is it true that the fire department bought that building? I said, not as of yet, but it is happening.
It's in the works.
So, it's in the works. But I look forward to you growing, spreading your wings. You're doing a heck of a job, Chief.
Thank you, sir. We're looking forward to it too. And we appreciate you all in the city and everybody in it. We have a great community that really appreciates us, I feel, and backs us. So that's good stuff.
Not everybody realizes, just like when you, fire prevention week, when you, way back in the day when I was on the fire department, we'd go to the schools and we'd walk into the classroom as, you know, in our uniform shirts, and one of us would walk off and back, put on our gear and walk out, and you would be just utterly surprised the look on those children's face when you walk in with your gear. And then you take your gear off in front of them, and they're like, you know, back then they called it Darth Vader syndrome. Because when you breathe through your mask, it sounds like Darth Vader, and the kids would hear firemen come in the house and they would hide. And it's a big part of that fire prevention to get those younger kids. That's why we did that back then.
Yep,
is-
get up and close and in front of them.
Yep. And
Well, my
it's-
kids hug you either way, Chief. That's just the way I taught them.
My own daughter was scared of me for years when she'd see me in my gear, so.
I'm still scared of you.
Well, I'm kind of a scary person. But I can, you know, I see the reason why we do it in my own family, so.
Yep.
I'm pretty passionate about it.
Yep, that was always a big highlight for fire prevention. I would always take that day or two off and go do that, because it was amazing what those kids' expressions were, the younger kids.
Yeah. Yep, very good.
Any questions, comments by the council?
Autograph?
What?
He said autograph.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome, makes sense.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll move on to K2, the resolution approving a gambling permit application for the Isani Sportsman's Club and Thunder Brothers Brewery.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We received an application from Isani County Sportsman Club requesting for a premise permit for ongoing gambling, which would include pull tabs, chip boards, paddle, wheel, electronic pull tabs, etc. And this would be located at Thunder Brothers Brewery's establishment. They have submitted the necessary application materials and have completed all the necessary requirements. Staff is recommending approval, but I do believe the applicant is here. Thank you.
Oh, there he is.
To discuss if needed.
My name is Jim Fraser. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
If you would just step up here, Jim. I have a question right off the bat, sir.
Push the button.
I've been doing the charitable gambling for the Sportsman Club for a very long time, so I'm well acquainted, so go ahead.
Well, you just answered it, so never mind.
And I
It's
did
a-
provide an information sheet to your clerk, so I think you may have gotten some yearly information of what we did in 2021. And if you have something there that you'd like to discuss, I'd be happy to answer that too.
I will say this, the Sportsman's Club relies real heavily on this, and a lot of that money goes back to the community, to the kids. They do tremendous
We
job.
don't spend anything outside of Isani County very easily.
That's nice to hear. You're gonna have those video, what do they call those things?
ECAPs?
Yeah.
Yes, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say,
That means my wife's gonna wanna go more often.
after you've read it, she's handing out that information sheet there. After you've read it, if you got any questions, feel free to contact me or whatever. I'm proud of everything that we do with our money.
Jim puts a lot of time in charitable gambling. I mean, he puts a lot of time into it. I know that for a fact.
It's quite the resume you got here, Jim. Holy Hannah. Any questions or comments by the council? He answered mine the minute he stepped up here, so.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Friedstrom.
K3, a resolution approving a special event permit application for Race for Life and DK Gold Cup qualifier.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We have received a Rum River BMX application for the special event for the Race for Life and the DK Cup qualifier, as you stated, on Friday, April 28th through Sunday, May 1st. They have submitted all the necessary application documents that are required, and staff is recommending approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. K4, resolution approving a forgivable loan for Bank Realty LLC for certain real estate located at PID 16.029.1400. Stephanie.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, we're looking at a request from Barak Realty LLC to purchase this 4-acre city-owned parcel behind the UPS building. We're looking at doing it in the form of a forgivable loan due to SBA 504 financing, which we've done for other, it's the way we've structured a few of our other dollar sales as well. The conditions in the business subsidy agreement are as discussed at the EDA meeting earlier this month, which includes the requirement that the developer will be required to put in the infrastructure to access the site, including city sewer and water services, as well as driveway access through the road right-of-way.
With that easement, we were granting the easement for that road.
Yes, for
Yes.
the road right-of-way will be included. So that is all outlined in the subsidy agreement, which the developer is here again tonight, if you have any questions.
I think we pretty much had all the discussion at the EDA.
Pretty sure we hashed that all out. Good.
I got a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Any items on the consent agenda?
No.
We do have the move from L4 from the consent up to business, which is the resolution authorizing the DNR outdoor recreation grant submission.
Okay. The resolution of authorizing the DNR outdoor recreational grant submission.
So this item was discussed earlier this evening at our committee of the whole meeting, and there was discussion on whether we wanted to apply for the grant in the manner that is outlined before you.
As I stated earlier, I think we should apply for it. We can decline it if we need be. That splash pad and all that was in budget for next year anyway. This grant wouldn't take effect. We got 2 years from, July or whatever we're looking at on that. My recommendation is to at least apply for the grant and go from there.
Is that a motion, Councilman Lundin?
Yes, I'll make that a motion.
And I just really feel like I don't want to spend the $436,000 anyway, so, I would disagree, and I think that I wouldn't like to see us go for this grant and kind of commit to spending that money. I know we don't have to commit now, but it's not going to look good if we go for a grant and then we say we don't want it at that time. So I think now is the time to really consider it. But $436,000 is a lot of money that we could be lowering taxes with instead of spending on a splash pad.
If it was an amenity the community wanted, I would agree with that. I know the community wants it. I have a motion from Councilman Lundin to approve the grant application process, I guess we could call it,
I'll second that.
and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor? Do you have anything you'd like to add, Councilman Brigley?
I think I said everything I wanted to say in color, so.
Okay. Anything you want to add, Councilman Collison, besides your motion?
No, I just think it's a good opportunity to possibly get some money from the DNR, state of Minnesota, to decrease the dollar amount the city taxpayers will pay.
Well, the city is still going to spend the money. It's just going to be a larger project if we get the grant money.
But it's all budgeted, Councilman Gordon.
I
That's
know
what
it's
you're
budgeted,
failing
but-
to mention here.
It's recouping that 50,000 that
Yeah,
the bathroom is gonna go over that.
and hopefully even more.
Yep.
Fingers crossed. I have a motion from Councilman Lundin to apply for the grant application process, and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-2. Anything else I'm missing in there, Ms. Wood?
That is it for business items. That is it for business items. Thank you.
So I would like to pull L6 out. To do a little homework on that item before we go approving it.
Didn't we, did that come up before?
Yes.
There were the bids?
Was that the only bid we got? We got two? I'd like to do a little homework on the item before we approve it.
I didn't even see L6, where is that?
L6, it's a resolution accepting a quote for animal control and kennel services.
Have we had issues with the current provider? Have we here?
Us per se?
Here at this city, have we had?
No, sir.
If I remember right, I think the same person that had a complaint about the last one, which was a different provider also.
I'm not going to deny that, but the complaint, actually has legs. I just want to look further into it.
Well,
I guess what-
I understand that, but we also can't get into legalities and issues from another city. I just want you to understand that. That could be a can of worms we don't want to open.
And I'm not going to deny that either. Again,
I have no problem pulling it, but we're gonna have to get it resolved sooner than later.
what would the correct terminology be, to table it?
The correct terminology would be asking for a motion and seeking the second to table the item, which would then leave it open to another meeting, not determined at this time yet.
I make a motion to remove it, or table it.
I could have made the motion, I guess. I'm the one that wants to pull it. So I guess, would you second it?
Yeah, I'll second it then, it doesn't matter. It's,
So I would make the motion to pull the item and table it for a later date, and a second by Councilman Lundin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
I wanna add one thing on just 2 cents on L11 about the resignation of Alyssa Olson. I think that our city has a great loss.
I would agree.
I did have a conversation with her earlier before the meeting started, and I think she has some ideas, and I think Ms. Wood knows what I'm talking about, and I think that might be a huge asset. I don't know if she's gonna be somebody that can be replaced easily. And that's just my thought. But, there again, we cannot tie somebody down. She has to do what's best for her.
I did make the joke that I didn't want to accept the resignation,
So did I.
but I didn't think that'd go over very well.
Makes you both equally as funny, so.
But with that being said, I just wanted my 2 cents that I think she's done a fabulous job.
I
And she would
agree.
have my recommendation in anything she does forward. So, but with that, I make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Lundin to accept the consent agenda as presented, and we'll go with a second by Councilman Burgley this time. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Councilman Collison and a second by Councilman Lundin. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Therefore, we stand adjourned.